Hey, how y'all doing? Thought I'd make a little video here this evening and tell you about some things. It's right now the crabbing industry is the worst I've ever seen it in my entire life, no doubt. It really is. I want to show you something from when I was a child to when now, or at least when I was around 10. I'll put it that way. I'm gonna take you back to 10 years old. When I was a kid, all up this road, I'm gonna show you what it was. Right here, this is Ed Landon, Shannon. He crabbed all my life when I was a little boy. His dad, his son, same as me. We grew up together. And we come up this way. By the time I got 10 or so, Papa was old and he wasn't crabbing anymore. But my Uncle Holly, who lived back here in a trailer, he crabbed here. And my dad crabbed over here. It was my dad and my brother Wayne, and I don't remember before it, but it was Ronnie and all. They crabbed there too. My dad had swimmer traps, and no swimmer traps around no more. We had swimmer traps in 3 different places. So when we get up this way, it was Carol. He come back after he was in the military. He crabbed when he was younger before he left. And his brother Wyatt Lee, he crabbed right here. It was oyster house here. Right here was a Shannon. It was a man named Billy Evans. His name was Billy Evans. He crabbed there. Right here was a man. His name was William Evans. No, William Tyler. He crabbed right here. He had a Shannon right here. And as we go up a little bit further, I don't remember anybody there, but here to my Uncle Olden Shannon. Here to my Uncle Olden Shannon. It was Uncle Olden and his son. This is his other son, Pal, and his son, Chad, fishing up there. It's only 2 people on all the roads pointing that's crabbing. Him right there. I don't know if Pal lives or not. He's not been well for a few years. And Johnny Krantz, he's the only one now. Let's see, it was Pal there, and then right next to him. So I'm going past things. Before there, it was Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith had a Shannon right here. And then right in here was Robert Kent. He had a Shannon right here. Right here was Johnny Krantz and his dad, Bobby. John Edwin. Had a brother, Bobby. John Edwin had a Shannon and Krantz there. Then we come up here. It was, I remember Bain. And then later Frankie had a Shannon here. I don't remember Bear being a crabber. He might have, but it was right when I was young. Then right here, it was a man called Little Az. No, this is Big Az. This is Big Az, the other one's Little Az. Big Az, he was a bank trapper, and I guess netted some too. Let me get up here a little bit further, and let's see. I don't really remember who has a Shannon here. I always remember it being one here, but I don't know who had it. But right here was an oyster house. This was where Roy Bradshaw built an oyster house. There's an oyster house here. That runs until the late 80s. And right here was a man. His name was, can't think of what his name was. I'll try to remember it. But he crabbed. I don't know what kind of crabbing he done, but I don't remember a scraping boat. So he either bank trapped or netted on the bow of a skiff. Right here was Francis Parks. They were hard crabbers too. He had his 3 or 4 sons worked with him off and on, and then two sons worked in another boat. And now Michael, he worked it for years, and then he got older, and he's not crabbing now. Right here is little Oldham. He moved up here later on after his dad passed away. He built a shanty here and a hard crab potted for years and years. He's not doing it right now. Over there, that was the guy I first started crabbing with. That was the guy I started crabbing with when I was young. His name was Lester Tyler. His son Lecky done it for years after that. They worked there together for years, and then Leck got a little too old to be doing it. And Lecky done it for a few years after he did, and no, he's not feeling well either now. He's older. But right here, let's see, it was crab potters here. It was Graydon, Evans or who, but Graydon was here, and it was a shanty right here. Bobby Tyler had a shanty right here, and it seemed like somebody, Bobby Tyler and Graydon. Oh, Tip was crabber when I was young. Tip was in here. He was a scraper, and I think he potted at some time too, but he by the time I was a teenager, he wasn't crabbing anymore either. And let's see. Oh, and over here, this is my Uncle John Reed and his son, two sons. We call him Little John or Porky, and his other son Eugene. He went on to build boats, Chrisfield. I'm trying to remember. There's a few other older watermen. Oh, I know who the other one was. I was thinking of Milton here. Milton, he was another one down in the basin there by Francis Parks' and Little Az, I think I remember Little Az netting some on the bow of a skiff. Milton had a shanty down there. He scraped too. He scraped over in some of the places I like to scrape now, or used to scrape anyway. And Leonard was a crabber and a carpenter. These two right here were crabbers and carpenters. There was two houses here. Can't remember, but I do remember both of them were older people, and they didn't crab by the time I was at. Later on, this one here got bought by one of my cousins, and him and his wife, Tommy and Cindy, lived there for years. And let's see, who had Milt, yeah. When I was young, this one here, this house here, this was the only house on the whole Road Point that was owned by a foreigner when I was a young one. That was it. That was the only house on Rose Point that weren't owned by island people. This right here used to be a man named Smith. He had a boat called CC Rider, and he used to deliver bait. He'd go clear over the little river there and get a whole load of bait, like 500-600 boxes of bait every evening, and deliver it to the sand. Put it right there to your board, or right on your boat in some cases. That's just here on Rose Point. We were the smaller of the three communities back then. We were the smallest of the three communities back then. It was a lot more watermen on Tylerton, and it was a lot more watermen on Yule. And if I had my boat, I'd go through there and I'd show you who all them were. But now there's three watermen on Rose Point that I know of actively working. 3. GoPro, stop recording. Hey, how y'all doing? There's a few things I thought I wanted to address to y'all. Sunset here on the island, and sunset on the crabbing industry. When I was young, there was a ton of crabbers on this Rose Point, probably around 30 altogether, and that worked with people, that worked on their own, and it ain't like that now. When I first started crabbing, now this is after I worked with a man named Lester Tyler. I worked for him for about 7 years. Best I can figure is around 7 years. Then I started crabbing on my own. and it was abundance of crabs when I first started. Probably 4 or 5 years, it was real good. Then it collapsed, but it didn't collapse this bad because I held on, and a lot of people went away. They had to go work to the prisons and had to go do other jobs away from here because they just couldn't make a living at it. And ain't like that now. It was still some crabs, I'll put it that way. There's still a few, but a friend of mine, his dad one night, they caught 20 peelers. 20 peelers all day. Another thing I can't understand. I can't understand why there ain't never any help for the waterman. Why ain't there never any help for a waterman? We bail like banks, oil companies, car dealers, all kind of things. Big farmers, we bail like the farmers. We never bail like the waterman when he's having a hard time. Never. They just let him go out of business. Just let him go out of business. Well, right now it's the 139th cam meeting, I think. 139th, something like it. 38, 39. I wrote down 39, but I'm not sure. I might go that one night and make a little film of how it is and show y'all. Now, one thing about being a crabber, you got a limit on how many you can catch. You got a time limit on how long you can stay out on the water. But when you catch any amount of them, the first thing they do is cut the market on you. You can't make a cent out of it. They'll starve you to death. And that's what we've battled that more than anything. There should have been some kind of price control, limit the price and how low they can go, because sometimes we go out for nothing, literally nothing. While the same crabs we can't make enough to make a living on, go to the city somewhere and there's $300 or $400 made on that one bushel of crabs. The market drops on us, but it never drops on the price you pay for them. You can bet. You can once in a great while in the fall you might get a price cut when they're trying to get rid of them. I heard one thing that I gotta say was the silliest thing I ever heard in my life. Some guy said the reason it weren't as many crabs coming into the market is because it weren't as many crabbers. Now let me just reiterate on what I said a minute ago. A friend of mine, whose dad's still scraping right now, trying to, he went out all day long. Now he's been scraping since the 60s, more likely. He's been going out crabbing all day long for 22 peelers. Now, when I was young, there was at least 70 scrapers on the island, all three places. Now, he caught 22 there. Let's put all 70 crabbers there where he caught them 22, and let's just see how many everybody catches. Yeah, we're just going to bring a load to market like that. That was the silliest thing I ever heard in my life. Boy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, now I can't read my own damn handwriting. But this week, like I said, I'm going to go to a camp meeting one night. I think I'm going to go Thursday night because it's calling for a squall that night. So a little fire and brimstone service, a little fire and brimstone service, and a little thunder and lightning to follow it up. Okie doke now. Take her easy. GoPro stop recording.